Hey everybody, good morning from Australia. Good evening to most of you that are in North America or in Europe. We'll get started
Good
in a
morning.
moment. In the meantime, if you wanted to just touch base and tell me where you're coming from. I can see Mark has already jumped in. He's in Charlton, New York. If you could let me know where you are, that would be awesome while I just get all these other things up and running. Hey, London. Well, London's in Canada. Matt, Boulder, Colorado. Austin, Texas, California. Austin. Okay. Sarasota, Florida, Washington State. For those of you who don't know, I'm a couple hours north of Sydney in the Hunter Valley. It's about 2 hours drive from Sydney. It's a beautiful spot and I really love it up here. It's a little bit quieter than being in the craziness of the city, but it's close enough to everything that we can do anything we like. Okay, we've got 18 people right now. I'm expecting 50 or 60, so we'll give it a minute or so before we go. Honduras, Cheryl. Okay, I didn't know that. Cool. Anaheim, home of Disneyland for Roger. Okay. It's a good sized group. That's good to hear, London. Thanks, mate. And yeah, happy to touch base with anything. You've got my details, so just email me. Hey, Catherine, Northern California. It's a part of California I've never been to. I've really only spent time around LA. Right, so I'll just close the window that we need to close. Let's get rolling. And today we're right in the middle, or we're just about to start the busiest time of the year for us as artists. I really think that this is a really important time, but I also think it's a time where if we're not careful, we get distracted, okay? And right now, the one thing we don't want is to be distracted. So I just wanted to help you focus, and it also help you set the scene appropriately for where you're at in your journey. I can see Tony's joined us from North Carolina, Northern California, San Francisco Bay Area. Right, so the really important thing today, I want today to be interactive. I'm going to ask questions. I would love you to provide further questions in the chat as we go along. Let's try and keep them appropriate to the theme, but I think the thing today is that there are a lot of things going on, and it's really how do you filter out that noise and how do you focus on the really important things right now. Okay, so let's jump in. And these are the things I wanted to focus on today. Okay, so the distractions, what do you focus on? Some of the new shiny things that are out there. And, you know, I'm not picking on any one of them, but NFTs, gallery shows, live gallery shows is what I mean by that. Clubhouse and other things that are going on right now. You know, how do we decide whether we tackle them or not? Okay, and we're in Q4, so what should you do? And I want to talk about that in relation to the circumstances that a lot of artists face themselves in, and you know, give you a couple of different scenarios so that you can sort of place yourself in setting yourself up for success. Okay, so that's what I mean by that, and let's roll through it and we'll see how we go. But like I said, I really want to encourage questions today because I think they're really important when we go down this topic. You know, if there's something you don't get or something you're not sure about or something you want to run past me, I'm happy to, because I think today it's really important to be quite interactive. Okay, so this is the most important sales period of the year. There's no question about it. And I know from my personal experience that, you know, every year, this last quarter, October to December, and particularly November and December, are really, really busy. It's where I do 50% of my annual sales. So what I do in the first 9 months of the year, I do again in the last 3 months of the year. And that's the case for a lot of artists. It really is an opportunity for you to get on people's Christmas buying lists, all of those things. Businesses, even spend money this time of year. So there's opportunity for gifts and things like that where you can help fill a space. So it's really important that you focus on it. But at the same time, I think it's also really important that you set the scene appropriately for where you're at in your business. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit later. But I also want you to be realistic, and I don't want you to lose heart. And I see a lot of that happening at this time of the year where people say, okay, everybody else is doing $1 million in sales and I'm doing that. Right. So we want to talk about that. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit of detail later on. Okay. So the distractions. There are so many distractions right now. And as we get closer to Christmas and closer to the holiday season, there are more distractions because there's more things happening in your life too. So the business, becomes, there's things getting in front of that. There's Christmas parties, there's events, there's family gatherings, there's all these sorts of things that take you away necessarily from your business. And how do we deal with that? And the other thing that's going on right now, obviously, COVID is still having a little bit of an effect on the way some people interact. I think there are two key things that we need to think about with relation to COVID. Is one, it's still having an impact on shipping, right? So things are taking longer to ship. They're taking businesses like the businesses who used to produce our work are taking longer to produce their work because they're running on limited staff, and then things getting shipped take longer. And that's one of the reasons, for those of you that are on Art Storefronts, one of the reasons that Art Storefronts is recommended, basically you launch your sale now. Okay, I am not launching my sale yet, and I'll tell you why, but we'll talk through that. But the idea is that right now we're about 8 weeks out from Christmas. The more time you give yourself and your customers to order and place and ship before Christmas, the better you're going to be in being able to deliver things without having people get upset because they ordered a Christmas present and it didn't arrive. Okay, so that's setting the scene. The other thing I think that COVID is affecting is the last 2 years, we were already shopping online, but the last 2 years we have gone to a next level as far as shopping online. I don't know the numbers for the States, but I know in Australia, August of this year was the biggest ever online shopping month ever in the history of Australian shipping. And that's August. It's not really a busy period of time. So in November, I expect to surpass that. And I think that people are still reluctant to spend a lot of time in the shops. So there's an opportunity for you as an artist to provide quality gifts shipped to people's door, even shipped directly to their friends and family around the country. And that's an opportunity that we need to take up. So we're going to talk about that. So the question becomes, what do we focus on? What are the things that are most important for us to do right now? And what are the things that we need to ignore or put aside for January or February? And I can tell you right now, if you think you're busy now, in January and February, you'll be sitting there twiddling your thumbs. So little happens in January and February when it comes to art sales, that if you want to try something new and you don't have time for it for now, put it on your to-do list for January and February, okay? Because that's the time when you're going to have a lot of time in your hands. It's an opportunity to try something new, okay? Right now, what you need to do is focus on delivering the best possible results you can for you and your business in the next 2 months, okay? And that's what I want to talk about, okay? So let's just talk about these things. And I'm not picking on any individual thing, but these are the shiny new things that a lot of people are talking about right now. And actually, in fact, I saw a lot of people talking about Clubhouse 2 or 3 months ago. I'm not seeing a lot of talk about it now. There is conversations about NFTs. There is conversations about live gallery shows, right? So the question that always comes back to me is, how much time do you actually have? Are you struggling for time? Do you not have enough time already in your day to do the things that you have to do? right? And I know for 9 out of 10 people that that's the case. They don't have enough time. So if that's the case, then all of these shiny new things, forget about them. Just ignore them for the moment because you don't have time. The only exception I would say, and this has a direct impact on your sales potentially, is if you have the chance to do a live art show on Facebook, right? You've got stock in your studio or in your home that you can show to people and share, then do that, right? And if you're an art storefront, they've got a really good template that makes it really easy for you to sell those specific products. You know, you can put 10 or 15 products up, sell them in a live art show. If you can do that, make time for it, because that may actually give you some direct income immediately where you may not have got it any other way, okay? But if you are struggling for time, or you're struggling with understanding some of the things that are going on, then taking the time out of the important things to look at NFTs, to look at Clubhouse, to look at doing, you know, starting on TikTok or doing something different on LinkedIn or Pinterest or whatever. If you haven't got the time, then don't do it. Put it aside. And then maybe in January or February, when things quieten down, then you can look at it, right? But don't try and do stuff that you just don't have time for, that probably won't have a direct impact on your sales in the next 2 months, right? And at the end of the day, because this is the most important time of the year, what we're trying to do is have a direct impact on our sales and increase them if we possibly can over the next 2 months. So if it doesn't have a direct impact, just don't do it, okay? Don't get frustrated. Don't find that you've got a million things to do and you're trying to do them all. Just put all of those extra things aside and don't touch them. I can't say this enough because I know people get distracted. I know people get frustrated because they don't have enough time, or they get something that's really niggling and that's not really important, but it's not working and they get frustrated by it and they get distracted. Just don't do it. Okay, focus on the things that really matter. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But I really think that a lot of these things for you in your position right now today is they're shiny new things and they're not important. If you'd like to try them, cool. Try them in January or February. Don't try them right now. Okay. The only exception is a live Facebook show. Okay, we've got one planned for Natalie, but we're going to do that in December when we get to the point where we know that we can't produce things quick enough because the timelines are too long, but we've got stock and we're going to share that stock and we're going to have a live art show with stock that we have, but we're going to leave that to December. In the meantime, we're going to run a sale on our stuff that we're selling through our print deposit, print partners and things like that. Okay, so we'll talk about that. So the most important thing that you should have been doing for the last 9 months or the last 10 months, because we're in November now, is focusing on people and focusing on relationships, right? The most important thing that you do every single week is send an email to your email list. Now, if you've got an email list that's 500 or 1,000 people, then maybe you're not doing it every week. You're doing it every second week. But if you've got 1,000 or more people on your email list, and you're not sending a romance email every single week, then you're missing an opportunity and you need to fix that. Okay, it's the most important thing that you do. And I can't say that any more clearly. If you only have time for one marketing activity every week, then send an email to your email list. It is absolutely critical. And then make sure, and I heard someone complaining about it yesterday, and I get it because I complain about it myself because I know there's a workload involved with it. But the most important thing that you do after sending that email is sit down, and every single person that replies to you, whether it's one person or 50 or 100 replies to that email, is send them a personalized reply. Do not send them a canned response, because that personalized reply is an opportunity for you to take the relationship one more step forward, right? You're not some big marketing company with a team of 1,000 people behind you in a call center in, India or anything else. You're an artist trying to run your own business. So the important thing is that you have real conversations with the people who engage with you. So if someone sends you an email, take the time to send a proper reply. Now, if you don't have time right now, that's fine. What I do is I tend to do those replies once a day, and I'll sit down for an hour or two and I'll just do all of those replies, and I'll sit there and reply to them, bang and a go. Just keep going, working my way through them, because I find I'm more effective when I put those tasks together rather than replying to them as they come in. So do that. And the same goes for your Facebook posts. And Instagram posts. If someone replies or comments on one of your posts, take the time to like it. And actually, I don't want you to like it. I don't want you to just give it a thumbs up. I want you to give it a heart or a care or a wow, or if it's a funny thing, a ha-ha, right? So you react to their comment, and then you reply to their comment. Again, this is an opportunity for you to start a conversation. And starting those conversations are the most important things you do. So if you get a chance to start a conversation with someone because they've commented on my post, do it, okay? Again, these are the things that really, really matter. They're not silver, they're not shiny things, they're not distractions. These are the things that matter to you and your business. Okay. If you're on art storefronts, you'll find that the game plans for a big sale like Black Friday, it's huge. They've given you every single thing you possibly could think of in that game plan. Now, if you think that that's too much, just take the basics out. Now, the basics are a discount coupon. Use a coupon code. Don't make it an automatic discount. And the reason that if you use a coupon code, they can only use one code at a time. So they can't stack. They can't end up getting 50% discount, right? Or more, right? Use a coupon code. Make it a very clear period. Generally, we're going 2 weeks. So have a sale, 25% off, 30% off, 35% off, whatever it is you decide on all of your products. Make it simple. Don't complicate it. Don't say, if you buy this, I'll give you this, and I do this, you'll do this. Forget about that. Just 25% off, 30% off, 40% off, whatever the number is for the entire collection for this period of time. Keep it that simple, right? And then make sure you email your list, make sure you do your Facebook posts, and make sure you do reminders. Give people a reminder a few days in, give people a reminder a couple of days before it ends, and give people a reminder on the last day. You can do that on social, you can do that on email. And like I said, if you're on art storefronts, those game plans are really, really extensive, but they're the important steps. Okay, have a coupon, announce it to your email list, announce it to Facebook, right? And then remind people as the sale progresses, partway through, getting close to the end, and at the end, remind them to buy. Okay, that's the most important things. Everything else is extra. And if you've got time for the extras, do them all. If you don't, at least do that. Okay. Now, the key with this is focusing on the basics, right? So the relationships and the, focusing on the basics, focusing on the people, focusing on the comments and the replies and all of those things, and helping people personally. Okay, make it as easy as possible for people. Hey, Scott, you're drawing on the screen. See if we can get that rid of. I'm not sure. If you can try and delete that, Scott, that would be awesome. Okay, so what more should you be doing? The key is keep the basics good and focus on the people. Extra depends on if you have time, but the reality is that you probably won't have time. Okay, so I'm going to jump to these questions and I'm going to come back. Okay, so I'm talking about the weekly email. That weekly email that you send out to your email list, London, is the most important thing that you do. And nothing you do in marketing is more important than email. Okay, I can't be clearer than that. Mark, do I reply to every comment and post? I don't, because we literally get hundreds a day, but we try, right? But if you're in a business that you're struggling to get connections, you're starting to grow, then you need to focus on that. We're in a business that now is a 6-figure online only business, right? So we're in a completely different scalable point of view. So yes, we don't reply to every comment, but we try. Okay. Discount. I've been asked this privately, but I'm going to say it out loud. So as far as discount is concerned, art storefronts recommend something between 24 and 25 or 20 and 35%. Personally, we're offering a 2-tier discount. We're offering 30% for past customers and 25 for non-customers. But that's it. And I think, 30% is probably enough for most people. We only run 15% for our year-round discount. So adding another 10% on that, or actually, it's another 15% on that for past customers. That's a good option. Okay. But keep your discount simple. Just make it 25% off or 30% off your entire store. All right. If you can't afford to do it on your entire store, then change it. Like change your prices or remove some items from your store for a short period of time. Okay. I don't think it makes any difference on originals or prints. I think you just give a flat discount across the board. Okay. Yeah, Mark, you get hundreds, then you do the best you can. Okay. Focus on as many comments. You're in a different position to most of the people that are here today. You already got a lot of momentum. So I wouldn't worry about replying to every comment for when you're getting hundreds a day. But for most people, you're getting a dozen at the most a day. Reply to every single comment, because that's the start of your journey with your customers. Okay. Okay. No, Kimberly, when you're in sales mode, then you do your sales mode emails. You don't do romance emails on top of the sales mode email. So right now, let me just tell you our schedule for Natalie's business. So that's the one that I've got clear in my head right now. So we're launching the sale next Wednesday. So today is Wednesday here in Australia. So next Wednesday, we're launching the sale. So the email that I sent on Monday was a pure romance email. I will send another romance email next Monday with a PS at the bottom of that saying, keep an eye on your inbox for Wednesday. We've got something special for you. Okay. And then we're sending out a coupon code to our email list. And then a special coupon code to existing customers. So we're complicating it slightly, but don't try and do all of this. If you're small and you're new, just keep it simple. One coupon code for your entire sale. What we're doing is we're having a private sale for our customers and our email list only for the first 5 days. It's not going to be public in any way, shape, or form. And then after that, we're doing a 2-week public sale. Okay, so that will go across all social media. We'll push that through ads and everything else. Again, I'm talking about a business that's already doing 6 figures. Okay, so this doesn't apply to most of you, but I just want to give you the background. So we're running the sale for 2 weeks plus 5 days. The 5 days at the beginning is a private sale only for customers and current subscribers. But the idea is that we want to get the current customers and current subscribers fulfilled, get them out, and then we can pick up the bonus purchases for the following 2 weeks for anybody else. Okay. But if you were going to have a sale, I would just say 25 or 30% off your entire store for 2 weeks and just set your dates. Okay. Make them as early as you can and prepare yourself for that. So email compact. Cheryl, be a bit more specific. What should one say in your email content? Are you talking about romance emails? If you're talking about romance emails, the simplest description I can give you for how to write a good romance email is, let's just pick an image in your collection, right? It doesn't matter what it is, but then think about someone who is a customer, someone who's bought from you before, someone that you know loves your work, right? and then sit down and write an email to that person. So open up your email, whether you use a client or whether you just use Gmail, whatever it is, and start writing an email to that person and say, hey, Steve, I just thought I'd tell you about this new artwork. This is the story about it. Bang, bang, bang. Tell them the story about the artwork. Include a couple of images. If you've got progress shots, that's great. If you've got a time lapse, of some of the work, that's great. And share that, right? And that email that you're writing as if you're writing to one person, that is the email that you send out as a romance email. Okay, I find it really easy to write a romance email when I just think about writing it to one person. So I'm just telling a story to someone I know. When I do it that way, I get a much more personalized and a much more real email than if I was sending out a marketing email and, bang, 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 trying to sell, right? I'm not trying to sell. I'm trying to build a relationship. The sales come from the relationships, not the other way around. Okay. So just think about writing to one person, and that should help. Okay. Yeah, Carol, I'm not going to comment on merchandise because I have not got my head around the way the merchandise works on art storefronts. I don't think it's working as well as it should. So it's up to you. Okay. You may want to exclude merchandise from the sale, but when you exclude stuff, that makes it tricky. So find the best possible margin or best possible discount that you don't lose money. And maybe you have some sales where you don't make any money, but you don't lose any money. As long as you don't lose any money, that's fine. It's when you don't make any money. It's when you start losing money that you've got a real problem. Okay. So I think that's it. Okay. Yeah. So during a sale, you're not going to have time to do romance, Camilla. You might do some romance posts, but the reality is you're not going to be emailing romance emails, because during a sale, you're probably sending 5 emails over the period of 10 days when you would normally send maybe 1 or 2. Okay, so just focus on that. And really the key for romances is the romance during a sale. The romance happens in the 9 months before the sale, not during the sale. Okay. And as soon as you finish your sale, go straight back to romance. Don't keep pushing sales. Just move on. All right. Share them a story, show them something new. Okay. So I think this is a really good point to jump into this next situation. So where are you in your journey? Now, I know a lot of the people that are here today are in this position. So you're in your first year of online marketing. I don't care if you've been creating and selling art face-to-face for 50 years. If this is your first year online, then this applies to you. If your email list is less than 2,000 people, this applies to you too. And if you've never sold online before, then this is absolutely critical for you. You should do a sale. Keep it really, really simple. 25% off store-wide, right? Run it for 2 weeks. But don't expect to sell anything, all right? Now, that may sound harsh, but what I'm telling you is that in your first year and when your numbers are really low, it's all about building momentum. Running a sale is still important for you and for your potential customers, because then they get to know that you do sales, but they get to know you a bit better during the sale period. There's no question about that. But at the same time, it's really good practice and experience for you because there's a lot of moving parts. So if you can run a basic sale during this Black Friday period, and these criteria apply to you. So your first year online, your email list is less than 2,000, or you've never sold online before, then this is going to help you next year, right? Because, Black Friday's coming up. Well, Black Friday's here, basically, as far as sales are concerned for most people, right? But, Valentine's Day is not far away. Mother's Day is not that far away. So there are other sales coming, and this is good experience. It's a really good thing to do as an exercise, But what I want you to do is set your expectations appropriately. For most people, where these criteria apply, you're not going to sell much, if anything, online during this sale, but that's okay. It's not you, it's not your art, it's just where you're at in your journey. Okay. And that's the important thing to do too, is to not take this to heart. If you don't sell anything in the next 2 months, that's okay, because that just means you're not there yet, right? The most important ingredient in marketing is time. And for most people, they haven't got the time yet under their belt to get the results. So don't set your expectations that you're going to sell $10,000 worth of stuff in the next 2 months if you sold zero in the last 9 months, right? What I told you at the beginning was, if you've sold an amount of money, amount of art, let's say you've sold $1,000 worth of art in the last 9 months online, then there's a good chance you can do another 1,000 in the next 2 months. Absolutely. But if you've sold zero, then the chances are in the next two months, you're going to sell zero too. It's okay, right? And I don't want you to beat yourself up on it, because I know a lot of people do. They get themselves really down because they haven't achieved anything. But it's not that you haven't achieved anything, it's that you're looking at the wrong KPIs. This is experience, this is training, this is exercise for you for the future. So look at that as an important step forward, okay? So, yeah, okay, that's a really good point, Catherine. And I'm just going to interrupt what I was going to say for that. So Catherine's saying, keeping in mind that we have other sales during the year, is it better to make this our biggest sale of the year? Personally, I do that, right? So this year we're offering 25 and 30% off, depending on who you are. And we never offer that for the rest of the year. So the rest of the year we offer 20% off. Okay. So I think that having one big sale a year helps, but it's not essential, right? It's your decision. It's your business. Run your business the way you want to run it. Take the advice that you think is appropriate for you and run with that, right? The important thing is that this is your business. So you need to look at it as a business, and you need to focus on the things that really can help you build your business. Okay. So Camilla, I offer free shipping year round. So it's up to you. The way I offer free shipping year round is I have 350 to 450% markup across the board. So we just build the shipping into the price. Okay. Domestic shipping is all free for us year round. So to me personally, I think that's the best way to go, right? I don't care what the price is. And I found that people often don't care. We got a random sale this week from someone who's never purchased before, and it was a $1,700 print. So pricing to me isn't necessarily the factor that stops people from buying. Okay, so now I want to give you the other scenario, and I know there are some people in this group today that are in this position, right? They've got a strong and active email list with 2,000 or 3,000 at the minimum, right? That's the minimum. Ideally, you want to have 5,000 to 10,000, but 2,000 or 3,000, you get some momentum on your email list, right? You've been emailing your list all year with romance content, right? For the entire year, you've been focusing on romance. You've had the odd sale, but the majority of the things that you've sent to your email list in the last 9 months is all about romance. You're telling your stories, you're building relationships with your audience, and you're already selling online regularly. Now, if that's the case, then what I want you to do is for the next 2 or 3 weeks, put every possible effort you can into selling, right? Follow the playbooks as hard as you possibly can, do as much as you possibly can, because this is an opportunity for you to double your income from the last 9 months, right? And perhaps even more, right? The opportunity there is really there for you to take. So you really want to invest the time, follow the playbooks, and do as much as you possibly can to get your results. Okay. And if you've got an email list that's several thousand, you know, 5,000, 10,000, and you're not already working with us and you want some extra help, then we can help you just as a one-off if that's what you want. If you want to do some extra ads, that sort of stuff over the top of what you're already doing, then I'm happy to help you just as a one-off for the sale period if that's what you want to do. Just send me a message. London, you misheard that, mate. It's not an $800 print. It was an $1,800 print. And actually, I've had 2 of those ordered this week. So one was $1,900, one was $1,800. So yeah, the people will spend stupid amounts of money on prints. I think I don't think I've mentioned it. I know I've mentioned this before. I have sold a $6,500 print of a photograph, right? People will pay whatever they can afford, whether it's $50 or 10,000. So don't think that you need to lock your pricing down to do something. Now I'm just going to show you this, right? So these are Natalie's. This is one of Natalie's calendars, right? Now because we're in Australia, we can't use the print on demand partners. We don't have that option here in Australia. So we actually use a local printer who's just down the road from us, and they deliver to my office. They actually delivered the last lot, another lot yesterday for us. And we ship these calendars Australia-wide for free, but we sell them for $43. Right, and I can tell you that as of right now, we've also sold over $35,000 worth of calendars this calendar year. Okay, and I expect to sell another $10,000, $15,000 before Christmas. Okay, so don't think that pricing is the objection. This is $43. It's a calendar. All right, so don't think pricing is the objection. And just as an example, this is a 6x4. It's actually slightly bigger than 6x4, but it's a 6x4 effectively. We sell those for $50, right? And I ship them every week. People are buying them. So don't think pricing is an objection. Okay, I think as artists, we often think that people won't pay that. It's ridiculous. People will pay whatever they want. Okay, I'm in Aussie dollars, but it doesn't matter. London, it's all relative, you know. Things are more expensive in the US and cheaper in the US. It doesn't matter. You go with your local content, your local currency. Okay, so what's most important right now? Building relationships, right? The way you're going to sell more stuff is to build more relationships, right? And if you haven't been actively building relationships in the last 9 months, then don't expect sales because they won't come. Sales only come with relationships. And I've said this a million times and I'll keep saying it again. Relationships matter. Relationships are the most important thing that you do. Okay. So if you're not building relationships, you haven't focused on relationships, then sales are going to come, but they're not going to come tomorrow. Okay. They're going to come in 6 to 12 months. Okay. Now I'm just going to go back because there's a couple of questions. Okay, Chinese New Year. Well, there's no reason why you can't do that, Carol, because that's early in the new year. Do that as well. You can do sales whenever you like, but at the same time, I still think you should do a Black Friday sale, right? Because this is the busiest time of the year for online sales, full stop. It doesn't matter whether you're selling, you know, face masks or you're selling calendars or you're selling art prints or you're selling pens. It's the busiest time for online sales, full stop. Okay, so you want to be in the market. Yeah, okay. So Courtney asked, which ad campaign would I use for running a sale? That depends on where I'm at. Okay, so for Natalie's business, now again, I'm putting this proviso on it because this is really important. This is a 6-figure online business, right? 6 figures just in prints and calendars. It's not originals, just prints and calendars. Okay, so for that business, we're running 2 types of ads for Black Friday. Okay, so the first ad and the most important ad is a catalog conversion sale. So we're trying to sell products from our catalog. Right, and that works really well when someone's visited the website before, they've looked at a product, they haven't purchased it. right? And we have enough traffic to do that. Last month we had over 7,000 visitors to the website. Okay, so we get a lot of traffic. So we can pull that information from our pixel and from the data and then mark it back to those people and say, hey, you visited, you didn't purchase this, would you like to buy? Here's a discount coupon, right? Now that works when you've got a lot of traffic. If you don't have a lot of traffic, then you will probably want to go for either, if you've got enough add to carts in your pixel, and let me explain that, because this is, where people, they get excited and they go, oh, I'm going to do add to cart as something, and it doesn't work because they haven't got it. So let me just bring this up and then I'll share it to you. So, there. Right, so when you're the pixel, someone said, I commented on a website the other day and someone said, oh, I said that you don't have the pixel loader, and they didn't know what the pixel was. So the pixel is just a little bit of code, and it's almost redundant now. It's not quite redundant because there's a new thing coming, conversion API, and our storefronts are just starting to transition to it. They're testing it at the moment, but let's ignore that for the moment. So the pixel is the thing that tracks visitors to your website via Facebook, okay? So here, well, let me share this. Can you see that NJP ads pixel? Can someone just comment, make sure that you're actually seeing that one? No? Okay, let me share it. Let me share. Full screen. Right. Okay. Yes, you can see it. Right. Okay. So this is Natalie's pixel, right? Now, this is really important. When I talk about pixel events and whether you can market to something. So this is the last month, right? Now, in the last month, nearly 31,000 people have looked at a product, right? That's huge. 20,000 people have visited a page. Find location is an interesting one. It means that they've been on the website for long enough, right? 1.8 leads, and then 759 add to carts, initiate checkouts, purchases, right? Okay, so you can't use something as a target. Courtney, this applies to you. You can't use something for a target as a for an ad if it's sort of less than 50 a week, right? So if you bring this down to the last 7 days and you look at the last 7 days, now I can happily use initiate cart or add to cart. I could probably get away with purchase, but purchase is right at the low end. Okay, but certainly any of these things you can do. Okay, so I would be chasing, probably the best value one would be add to cart. Otherwise, go find location. Okay, which is chasing people to stay on your website longer. Okay, but the goal is, I don't just want traffic. I want traffic that may do some sort of conversion event, and that's what these are: conversion events. Adding to cart is a really good conversion event to chase, right? Because if you don't have enough purchases, then you might have enough add to carts. But the goal is for you to get as much information as you possibly can about your people so that you can then market back to them. Okay, so if you've got the right amount of data, then you can do it. If you don't have the right amount of data, then it's really hard to do. Okay, but you can see that we've got a huge amount of data that we can use in that pixel, so it's easy for us to do. Okay, but if you don't have the data, then maybe you go for traffic, right? But you need to have a look at your pixel and see where your pixel's at. Okay, that's the short answer. So focusing on sales, to focus on sales, you need to focus on the people first. If you haven't focused on the people, then don't expect results on sales. Now, I can't be clearer on that. If you haven't done the work in the last 9 months, then don't expect results in the next 2 months. But if you have done the work, then you will get the results. Okay, but you need to put the effort in year round to get those year-round results, But what I'm saying is that if you're in a position, and let's just go back to that previous slide, if this is you're in your first year, you're less than 2,000 and you've never sold online, then this is a really good training exercise for you. Because if the first time you do this big sale is next year when you're ready, you don't want to stuff it up. See, this is a chance to practice. This is a chance to learn about your business, and maybe you learn about some of your customers, and maybe you even get some sales. But if you set yourself up as a training exercise rather than as I'm going to make $1 million in the next 4 weeks, next 8 weeks, then you're going to set yourself up in a much better position. Okay. So just focus and try and do the best you possibly can for you and your business. Now, I'm basically done with my presentation. I'm happy to hit any other questions that people have got. I'm sure there are things that people are not sure about that they'd like to tackle. I'm happy to answer any more questions as we go. Ask the question, London. Tell me.
Hey, John.
Hey.
I'm just curious. I think Camilla asked it earlier. I think it was her, about sending the weekly emails off to the new people that sign up to your email list. So right now with all the sales going on,
yep.
is it wise to send the new people that same sales email?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. You may put some people off, and that's okay. I think it's better to put people off early than later. So okay. At the end of the day, maybe you want to change the language a little bit for those people, but that also requires you to segment your list, and it's a lot of extra effort. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's a good experience for you and for your people. You may not be at the right point, but it doesn't matter. I think that's okay.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Thanks, John.
No worries. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. You're America signing up. Carol. Okay. So the question is, do I recommend signing up for things like Artist Sunday? It's not a lot of effort. Could potentially direct traffic to your website, right? My answer to this is really simple. If you've got time to do the extra things after you've done the things that are most important, do it. But if you don't have time, do the things you have to do first. Okay. It's like, posting on your Facebook page. And then, I've heard a really interesting comment lately, and they're going, "Oh, I don't post links on my Facebook page because then I can't share those posts in Facebook groups." Right? Now, to me, that's counterproductive. The links on your Facebook page are to get people to visit your website. End of story. Okay. And if you're not driving traffic to your website from your Facebook page, then your Facebook page is almost irrelevant. So yes, it's nice to get likes and comments in a Facebook group, but if you're not driving traffic to your website, then it sort of defeats the purpose. So maybe you want to do special posts just for those Facebook groups, but they come as a secondary option. The first option is you must post on your Facebook page and share links to your website. Share links to products on your website, not just to your basic website. Don't just share a link to your main homepage. Share a link to a product or a gallery. And I do that every second post. Okay. So don't cut off your nose to spite your face when it comes to sharing and doing things online. If you've got time to do that, Carol, do it, but do the other things that are more important first. Okay. Catherine, I've not slowed down, and I don't intend to slow down audience growth in the meantime, because the reality is that people aren't, you need to still get people coming into the funnel. You need to still add to your email list year round, and stopping that for the moment doesn't make any sense to me. I'm still running. We're running full steam with a giveaway this month. We've already had a couple of hundred entries, which is crazy. So yeah, don't slow down necessarily. No, Camilla, the answer to your question is I think you need to romance right up until you launch your sale and then immediately after you finish your sale, but not during the sale. Okay, so romance, run your sale, then romance. Don't romance in the middle of the sale necessarily, but you want to romance right up until you launch your sale. Okay. Yeah, don't send a romance email during a sale. Full stop. Don't do that. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the session. I just wanted to run through the last couple of slides. For those of you who haven't worked with me before, I'm going to come back. No, let me do that first. If you're struggling to get time, one of the best things you can do is schedule your posts. And I know a lot of people use Hootsuite or they use Later. Both of them are great apps. Sometimes you have to use a paid version, but Creator Studio is built into Facebook, okay? It's free, and anybody who has a business page can use Creator Studio, and you can schedule posts up to a month in advance for Facebook and for Instagram for free, okay? So it's a really cool tool. If you're not already in my Facebook group, this is where you get past webinars, any hints of tips and videos that I've shared in the past. They're all in the Facebook group. So I shared that link at the beginning of this. I'll share it again in a moment in the comments, but certainly if you're not in the group, join the group because it costs you nothing and it gives you access to these extra things. But those of you who've never worked with me before, we have a program which we call a 90-day audience builder program. It's designed specifically to help you build your email list, right? That's the primary focus, building your email list. And we show you not only how to build your email list, but we train you so that you can continue doing it after the end of the 90 days, because building your email list is something that takes years, not something that takes months. So we help you learn how to do it. We show you how to do it so that you can continue to grow your email list after you finish working with us. If you're on Art Storefronts, it's $799 US. If you're not, it's $999 US. We train you, we set it up, we do all of the things we need to do to make it work for you, including setting up audiences and those sorts of things. So if you're interested in the program, we have a special offer. If you book and sign up for our 90-day program, then you will also get a one-on-one call with me on Zoom for an hour focused on marketing issues that relate specifically to you. You can talk about anything that you think relates to you and your business. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to share this link in the group in a moment, but sign up for a call. The call costs you nothing. If you decide at the end of the call it's not for you, that's cool. But if you're interested in joining our Audience Builder program, we're still taking on clients in the period leading up to Christmas because we think lead generation is something that should happen year round. So we're going to continue to take on clients. We've slowed it down a little bit, so we've got limited spots. But the idea is we want to help people grow so that they're prepared for Q4 next year. Okay, and now is the time to start doing that. So if you're interested, I'm going to share that link with you right now, but I'd love to chat with you if you are interested in joining the 90-day Audience Builder program. You want to know more, book a call and we can have a chat and go from there. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. I know taking an hour out of your day sometimes can be hard for those of you who haven't been able to join for the whole time. The replay is in the Facebook group, and let me just share the Facebook group as well. So you've got it. So you can join, you can watch the replay anytime. You can go back and watch the replay if that's what you want to do in the Facebook group. Just request to join the Facebook group if you're not already a member. I'll add you in, and then you can watch it again. Remember, guys, focus on the really important things for the next 8 weeks. Don't get distracted by the shiny new things. Focus on the things that will make an impact in your business today. And the most important thing to focus on is people and relationships. Okay, you have a great week. Thanks for joining me, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.